This evening I will speak about training when somebody is over 40 years of age, but it might concern younger people as well. I have some knowledge about this subject as I'm now 65. When I was in my 20s or 30s, I tried almost everything what I read and heard, even the wrong training habits. I did too many exercises for each muscle group. I did too many reps or too low reps with too heavy weight, too many sets, and virtually never had clear goals for each workout. Youth can afford to make such mistakes, but getting older, we need absolutely maximum results with minimum time invested. And it's not just because we have busy lives, as for business, for example, and can't spend hours in the gym, but it's much more because every workout represents a certain amount of energy investment and stress on the body. And there is no good reason to deplete ourselves by performing more exercise than necessary to achieve our goals. The first thing coming to a gym is to warm up. You can see in the gym many people who jump right into an intense workout and lift hundreds of pounds without the slightest warm up. Maybe it's possible if you have 20-25 years, but it's very dangerous in the later part of your life. A proper warm-up increases the blood circulation to the muscles, elevates respiration to improve the oxygen absorption, and improves viscosity in the joints. I must point out that this doesn't mean that you run 1 hour and then you go to work with weights. It is nothing worse as that, and when I see somebody to do that, immediately I try to speak with him because he is doing more harm to his body as a positive training result. Before you start lifting the weights, there are several possibilities how to warm up. It can be just 5 to 10 minutes of brisk walking on the treadmill, or use a stationary bike, stair stepper, or other aerobic machine. But you can also use what I'm using for years, a so-called direct weight method. Before you perform each lift, do between 15 to 25 reps with about half of the weight you will be using for that particular exercise. For example, if your goal is 8 reps with 250 pounds, warm up with 120 pounds. Important after 40s is also to do fewer exercises. One of the biggest mistakes you will see in the gym are people after 40, 45 who do too many exercises for each muscle group. This is not necessary. The muscle quality is a response to the intensity at which they are forced to work. Intensity is measured by the amount of work done per unit of time. You will actually achieve better results in less times if you perform 2 or 3 very high intensity exercises. And this is concerning any muscle group. For example, some people will work their chest by doing 3 sets of cable crossovers, followed by 3 sets on the pec deck, then 3 sets on the bench press, adding still inclined bench presses, and maybe even other exercises. There are studies which have shown that 90% of people over 40 will actually receive better results by performing, for example, 4 sets of high intensity bench press, doing all 8, let's say to 10 reps, each followed by 4 sets of chest flies with the same intensity. During the next chest training, you might change your program and do, for example, bench press on an inclined bench and cable crossovers as an example. This is great news to everyone, but it is particularly good for those of us who are over 40 or even in a higher age, because performing multiple sets of multiple exercises is very depleting. Yes, it is just not necessary. But that's not the only one point. You have to plan also, after a certain age, fewer workouts, which also I consider as a necessity. But this is individual, I must say, from case to case. One person can train 4 times a week, the other person can train only 3 times a week. One person hasn't to go over 60 minutes of training, but other person prefer to work much less, for example 40 minutes only. There are, however, certain people who can feel that with such a schedule they are not recovered. Such people can do only 2 days a week as a training. It is extremely surprising that many studies prove that even doing a workout every 4th week or with a ruler training in the same period when you need your haircut, which is funny, but it can be a ruler to do your training, and you still can keep your good form. Reading such studies, I was not absolutely sure about that, but I have to accept that all human beings are different. For me to do a gym workout less than 2 times a week is not a good program schedule. It's underplayed. I think that 3 times a week is the minimum, and 4 times a week is the ideal quantity of workouts per week, even for people overgoing their 40s or 50s. The goal of every workout should be to keep the same intensity level of work compared to your previous workout, and this you have to fulfill under any circumstances. There is a very interesting subject concerning muscle or muscles equals a younger look. Have you ever seen 2 people who were both 60-year-old, but one of them looks like 70 and the other one looks like, let's say, 45? Age can't be measured by the calendar alone. There are several well-established biomarkers of aging that are used to give more accuracy to the assessment of physical age. Guess what? The amount of muscle your body contains is one of the principal biomarkers of aging. The more muscle you have, the younger you are. Another biomarker of aging is bone density. Guess what the number 1 method is of increasing the bone density? It's weight training. It's weight workout. Those of us over 40 years old can really greatly slow down and in many cases reverse aging process by performing rational, efficient strength training that increases muscle mass and bone density. And above all, what is important is the muscle quality. The really great news is that it can be done without hours of exercise performed week after week. Less stress on the body, fewer workouts, and it means increased youth as well. It's great to finally be old and wise. Have a great workout, and don't forget, age is not an obstacle to a good workout and training every week. Bye.